As we're about a quarter of the way through the NHL season so far, the New York Rangers have played some pretty terrible hockey, especially as of late. Got off to a, pretty solid start there for a while. Then things turned around pretty quickly for the absolute worst, especially as of late. They've been playing horrible, horrible hockey, but still, this New York Rangers team has at least, a couple bright spots. One of them being a kind of new star who's kind of come around so far this season in the New York Rangers organization, and that is a young winger named Will Cuylle. This is someone who is a former late second-round pick back in the 2020 NHL draft, the same draft that we got Alexis Lafreniere in. In that second round, we ended up getting a second-round pick from the Los Angeles Kings in that trade where we sent over the former 7th overall pick, Elias Anderson, over to the Kings there. We got back a second-rounder, and that second ended up being Will Cuylle, which was a very late second in that draft, but he is obviously looking like so far this season especially, a phenomenal young talent. He has truly kind of blossomed into I would say, a star-level talent. He is playing some great hockey, and, the big thing about his game as well is he's not just some, pretty good offensive winger or a, solid kind of defensive guy or a good defensive winger, not just a physical kind of guy. He has all those tools in his game. He can score goals around the net. He's really good in those tight areas around the net there, around the crease, kind of battling him for pucks and stuff. He's a pretty strong player, good all-around, I would say, offensive instinct. He's not some elite, dynamic kind of offensive threat, but he's a pretty good goal scorer there, has a good shot, can tip pucks in there, good around the net, can find the back of the net pretty easily, which is quite nice, and is doing so at even strength as well. He's just a great all-around, I would say, offensive threat. Not an elite one, but a good offensive threat there, especially so far this season at 5-on-5, adding the strength there. He has gotten the job done, which is exactly what you want to see. He can also play and make a bit there as well. He's not too bad on that side of things. So all around, very good offensive threat. He's also got a very solid defensive game as well. He is someone who, I think long-term wise should be a guy, on the penalty kill for, years and years to come probably. He is someone who also, not only is a good defensive guy and offensive guy, but he also is a real threat out there physically. He's not going to be some malicious hitter out there where he's, headhunting, maybe not as kind of dirty at moments as guys like, Jacob Trouba, Radko Gudas, those kind of players can be, but he is one of the top hitters in the entire NHL once again this season, just like he was last season in 2023-2024. So this is someone who, now back-to-back seasons. Last season was a rookie season as well. He's been, one of the top hitters in the entire NHL for back-to-back seasons now for a, very young NHL player who, was in a rookie season last season, now in his, second sophomore season here right now in the NHL with the Rangers. Being that physical of a player already is a really great sign. I mean, he was a very physically kind of dominant guy at the junior level there when he was playing with the Windsor Spitfire in the OHL. I had the pleasure of watching him quite a bit there, and, he is someone who, he did pretty much dominate the OHL there. He was one of those really big, he got that big size there, about 6'3", obviously weighs quite a bit there, very strong player, so he was able to be quite physically dominant at the junior level there. But obviously, question marks happen when, guys are dominant like that physically at the junior level. Can it translate to pro hockey and the NHL? And I would say so far it definitely has, as, like I said, he's one of the top hitters in the entire NHL. He is by no means a soft player out there. He's always looking to lay the body. He's a very tough, strong, physical, gritty kind of player at moments, and those are the type of players that we all know this New York Rangers team needs more of. Now, is he enough physically for this team? No. We need more of these type of players, but he is definitely one of those guys who you want to have on this Rangers team for years and years to come. He's got that great all-around game, good offensively, good defensively, but having that physicality as well is the big thing. There's not many players in this NHL, especially, on the wing side of things there, where they're, good offensively, good defensively, but also really great physically as well. He's not even just like an average physical player. He is a well above average, player physically. So that's great. They're having that size, the skating ability. I mean, he's not an elite skater, obviously. He's not flying around out there like McCarr, McDavid, or anyone crazy like that. But, a pretty solid skater for someone of his, 6'3" size there. He's obviously got that strength there as well. But it's just really is his all-around game that I love so much. And is reason why I do want to see him locked up long-term as soon as possible. And, there is a big question mark, though, with him being an RFA, a restricted free agent this upcoming offseason. Does he end up signing a massive long-term contract, or is it more of a kind of lower cap, a shorter-term deal? That's kind of my guess. It'll probably will be a kind of lower cap, a shorter-term deal, not that long, massive extension, kind of like a guy like Lafreniere got, because, Will Cuylle is someone who, had a solid rookie season last season, but was in a pretty much only, fourth-line role there. Didn't put up the greatest point totals there in the regular season or in the playoffs. Didn't have the best playoff run either, so maybe he does, look to, kind of more prove himself to get that massive cap hit and, massive kind of long-term deal. That's kind of my guess there, so he'll probably go for more of the shorter-term deal, maybe like a 1 or 2 year deal. This upcoming offseason, as he'll be an RFA, still in his early 20s, and then once that next contract, a second contract, will expire, that 1 or 2 year deal, he'll be a little closer towards his mid-20s there, where he can still sign, obviously, for sure, that massive long-term deal, get that massive payday, assuming he does continue at this pace, and if he does, he will truly make a boatload of money. With having that physicality, like I said, the defensive ability, and the offensive ability there are not too many players out there in the NHL who have that all-around game, not just offense and defense for all-around, but the physicality side of things as well, that big body out there. He brings a lot to the New York Rangers. He can be a power play and a PK kind of guy as well. I think in general is just such a great hockey player, and there really are not too many players like him in the NHL, and the guys that are like him, they go for a lot. They get massive paydays. I mean, those type of players, I'm not saying he's on that quite level as guys like Brady Tkachuk and Matthew Tkachuk, those type of players, but he does have a bit of that type of, physicality, decent defensively, definitely not bad at all defensively. A pretty good defensive player, but also bringing that offensive game as well. Not a lot of players out there in the NHL like that, so I do want to see him locked up long-term, although it probably won't happen until his third contract instead of his second one, which he will sign this upcoming offseason. He also is right now tied, as of recording this video, second on the entire New York Rangers team in points with 20 alongside Adam Fox there, so he's not doing too bad at all. This video is being recorded a little bit before the Pittsburgh Penguins game against the Rangers Friday night, so the stats may be a little off there, but as of this second, he is tied for second on the team in points, which is not too bad at all with 20. He also is a plus 10 as well, and plus minus is never the best stat to take a look at, but on a not great New York Rangers team where a lot of the players on this squad don't have great plus minuses, it definitely does say something about Cuylle's game there that he does, have plus 10 right now, isn't looking too bad at all, has played really great defensively and has been a part of a very good defensive line for the most part there, of being, Cuylle, Hedl, and Kakko on that third line. But anyways, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, definitely hit that like and subscribe button for daily New York Rangers content. If you are a New York Rangers fan, there's no better place to be on YouTube, so hit that like and subscribe button. It helps with the channel a ton, and I would really, really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on Will Cuylle and what you can hope his next contract will look like this upcoming offseason. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next one. See ya.